because we're now going to talk about product. This is something I don't
I
think.
have less to say about this.
Well, I think this is something that no one else has really done before. But I thought this was a more fun way to approach this way to do it. So we're going to go over the 12 products that have come out this year. Quickly go over them, go over our opinions, and rate them on the list, which is kind of cool. I'm just going to wait for this to catch up. There we go. So we've got the solo leveling challenger. We've got. I'm going to do these. We're going to do these in order. So it'll be solo leveling challenger, hex, hex display, hex starter, uh, apocalypse, then Street Fighter, TMNT starter, City of Wolves, the Shadow Monarch bundle, the Shadow Monarch S Class Hunters. Then we'll go into Guilty Gear and then Borderlands 4, which is a great one to finish off on.
Yep. Not
So,
ending that one on a high note.
the solo leveling challenger deck introduced XP, introduced reference cards and skill trees, gave us a real taste of what we were going to see from attunement and blitzes throughout the year. Was a solid start to the year, even if the character themselves was a little bit uninspiring, in my opinion. 6 levels, very hard to pop off. When they did pop off, though, they were very dominating. But as a first product for the year, it got me hyped. I love soul leveling. I think this was a great start to the year.
Yeah, this is definitely something that piqued interest locally for me. We had a lot of people who like solo leveling who either tried the game out or actually got into the game. And this is one of the two products that I've actually seen outside my local game store. I saw these hanging in a GameStop in a mall, and I saw TMNT packs hanging up in a Hot Topic in a mall.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I was like, "Hey, we're going places." Because unfortunately, around me, Target and Walmart do not stock this game. I know some people have been able to find it out in the wild, but for me, it's usually local store or bust. And solo leveling's decks were uh, the first thing that I saw that were actually outside of local game
That
stores.
makes a lot of sense. When I was playing in Glasgow regionals, I went in with the soul leveling deck, but using the Shadow Monarch, which we'll get to eventually. But I was wearing my T-shirt, and the guy that was doing like the breakfast buffet at the hotel was like really hyped when he saw my soul leveling like stuff, and we were talking about it. And then now he's gone away and looked up the game and seen we've got TMNT, that we've got Critical Role, that we've got soul leveling, and he's got really hyped for the game. He's like, "I'm going to see you at events next year." And I didn't have the heart to tell him that there's going to be no regionals next year. But
Don't crush his dreams.
exactly, I was like,
Let
no,
him dream.
I was like, yeah, we'll get some games in next year. Next time there's something up here. But that's the kind of thing. The solo leveling fandom is huge, and this product had the draw power to bring in. It's one of the products that people were asking about outside of our communities. One of the products. My only disappointment is that we didn't get a second print run once it won Anime of the Year. That slapped on there, going Anime of the Year solo leveling challenger deck. Because I think that would have been a great time to actually pop it off. I think more like that. So like games of the year, animes of the year, movies of the year. If we're working with them, being able to highlight that aspect so we can show that stuff would be a great move forward. But I I don't know if I've got the heart to put it in S because of just
No,
the chibbiness of it compared to what we got. The fact that it took a whole essentially DLC to make the character playable.
I'd say either low A or high B.
I'm gonna put it in
Is a
A purely because of the
Yeah,
amount of hype it generated for the community.
and that's the main one of the main reasons is because I think it got a lot more eyes on the game.
Speaking of a lot more eyes on the game, Critical Role Heroes of Exandria, following on from the Challenger series we got in 2024, we got a full set featuring the Mighty Nine and the Amazing Heroes of Vox Machina, featuring additional characters such as Alora, Kima, Pumat Swall, Pumat Snow, Pumat Sol, depending on how you know him, There's a lot of stuff to break down in that. And this was part of the 10-year anniversary. We got 8 signed chromes. We got the dual chromatic alt arts. We got the amazing textualized, influenced by the storyline alt arts for the characters. I could go on about this set for literal hours. We got a
You have.
tuned, yeah, I have. We got a tuned commons and uncommons, where then we got the higher rarities being base resource symbols. Also accompanying that, each of the ultra rares was almost like a signature card to the characters, with Sweeping Daggers being a Vaxodan card. We also got things like the SRs featuring characters that weren't in there but were very influential to the story, with Earthbreaker being Earthbreaker Groon, Harness and Death being for Lady Delilah. It's, yeah, like I said, I could just keep harping on about this. It's so very good. It's so very thematic. You can tell that the design team and the creative team are massive critters. You can tell that Critical Role had that influence, and the fact that Critical Role have continued this relationship all year with the Wedding Crasher promos, the Wedding Crasher PVE, the Gen Con promos, moving into Bell's Hells, which I really want to see more of UVS. The fact that we've had the advertising through Critical Role, where we had the 2024 challenges being advertised by Sam Regal during campaign 3. We've had during the Wildmount Wildlings, we had Marisha Ray talking about the fact that she could now play Beauregard in Universus through the starter decks and the series. From getting eyes on the game, from hype from it, from the fact that the critter community absolutely love this, bought up multiple cases, hunted down chromes. I slap this in S immediately. For me, this is the best product we did all year.
Yeah, I was just gonna be say, let's just put it in S and move on so we can save time because you said we had to go through this quickly, and then you just went on a tirade.
I
But yes, it solid S. I think one of the most fun times I've had as a creator was being in a live stream where Matt Mercer and I believe Sam Riegel were playing the Challenger series against
Lima
each
Brand.
other.
Lima Brand.
Liam O'Brien. I can never remember people. I just remember Matt Mercer because he's the DM. But when they were playing the Challenger series together to show off the cards, I was in that live chat talking to critters about the game and explaining how it works. And that's actually when my Hermit School videos went live. That was the day that the Hermit School came into being because I'd had all that prepped and I made it go live that day so people could go start learning about the game.
That's
So
yeah. That's
yeah,
awesome. I know
10 out of 10 S rank.
there's a lot of people. There's a lot of creators that want to play. There's a lot of creators that are trying to get their stars to play, especially when it came to like the Jester and Forward promos. I've seen we've got a bunch more content creators in short form content and long form content from just having this Critical Role product. Uh, yeah, it's nuts. I remember talking with people that were helping out at the Gen Con booth, and Liam O'Brien shows up with his family to the Gen Con Universus booth. It's an actual game they play in their free time. Matt Mercer posted his Heroes of Alexandria polls on Instagram. Yeah, it's just great having other people in their fandoms who love these kind of stuff, because we've seen Critical Role playing Magic the Gathering. We've known Travis referenced Magic the Gathering when he played his character in Dispatch. And it's just great to see universes having an impact on other games like D&D, on in the Magic Sphere, having actually get a foothold there, and just if we could get a few more of them playing rather than collecting, we could really pop off.
So moving on, since we gushed about Critical Role for 15
I
minutes.
look, we can rush through the rest. Critical Role deserved it, but since we just talked about Critical Role, let's talk about Critical Role. We got the starter decks from Beauregard and Percival to roll over third. You thought we were done. We're done when I say we're
B
done.
B moving on.
What do you mean B? Didn't you win a locals with Beauregard and
Yeah, that's why it's not C.
And the starter Percy was legitimately on some UK players' radar to be played at Chelmsford regionals because although they were low health, they had some very cool abilities. So yeah, I'll happily stick that in B. The only reason it didn't go higher is because the only unique cards in those decks were the characters. I think if they'd have had some backups or some unique things like we see in TMNT, I would have probably put this along lines of Soul Leveling.
Yeah, I agree. And the fact that it's Critical Role gets more eyes on the game, it's easy access for critters to learn the game. It's B. It's a solid, good product.
So let's take a look
Moving on.
at Attack on Titan Apocalypse, the third installment of Attack on Titan, the closing of that mishyped chapter of Universus. It started off weirdly. The second set was received very well. The third set, I'm not a fan of. I didn't. I got the content creator box, which was cool. I opened some packs at the summit, and I opened some pre-release kits. Apart from that, I haven't touched the product. There was nothing.
I think Apocalypse has given some good build around cards. Um, but it does seem like it was just its own power ramp,
I think
and that
the
was kind of rough.
I think the main issue is by after Origins of Power, we were kind of done. Then we got Critical Role, which gave us some really cool cards, really cool concepts. Nothing new, no new mechanics, no new anything. We got rage counters, but they don't count 'cause it's not an evergreen kind of mechanic. It kind of just gave us a twist on how. Oh, look, I'm talking about Critical Role again. It gave us a twist on how to play the cards we already had, and then the immediate next product was back to Attack on Titan,
Going back to
and it
yeah.
reminded us of how restricted we were on symbols and how restricted we were on cards, and it just it was a draining product, and it's not Apocalypse's fault. In all honesty, it's
No.
Origin of Powers and Battle for Humanity being so close together. If they'd been spread out a little bit more, if we'd got, let's say, if we were getting Apocalypse now, and we got Battle for Humanity where we got Apocalypse, and we say we got another set in October, November, I could be a bit more hype behind it. But Apocalypse was just a reminder of how boxed in we were creatively, despite of how powerful, how good the cards that came in it were. The product itself felt oppressive.
And going back to more like the entire Attack on Titan suite of sets is why we have such an imbalance in our symbols right now. So I would
Yeah.
say Apocalypse may be a low B, just
Below
because
the
there are some
starter,
really
ooh,
what?
below the bow starter,
Yeah, because like Bo actually I had fun with. Attack on Titan Apocalypse is like, well, I'm gonna kind of need some of these to keep up.
yeah,
But it definitely feels like they're like, this is the end of Attack on Titan, so we're gonna throw our biggest, most explosive cards at this. But again,
yeah.
because we were so limited on symbols for about a year at that point because of the last two Attack on Titan sets, it felt really restricting, and
Yeah.
it felt like we were taking a step back.
It felt
Um,
like they were throwing so much at us to kind of like hype up the end of Attack on Titan. Here's Unrelenting Advance, where you just get to, if it's blocked, go get another attack. Here's Falling Titans, that's just going to keep coming at you. Here's a card that can get you an extra
Unyielding
turn.
Destruction, the
Yeah.
Rumbling, Moment of Normalcy.
Oh, you're worried about people overbuilding because we're not printing Deadlock anymore? Here's Unyielding Destruction on Infinity. It's like, cool, a card that everybody now has to buy. Uh,
Military Airship.
military airship, the promo that broke Albuquerque, timely counterattack, which has a breaker free for apparently no reason.
Yeah. So I'd put it as a low B. And the only reason I'm not putting it in C is because I do think a lot of the cards are genuinely really good. Um, but I think we were just burned out on Attack on Titan at that point.
Yeah, that's my issue with
When you
it.
dedicate almost an entire year previous to one to one IP, you better not see it the next year because we're gonna get burned the hell out on it, and we just wanted to move on.
That's my issue. If we had, say, Critical Role come out in October last year, and the Attack on Titan was a little bit more spread out, we were burnt out. AOT 1 wasn't the best received. AOT 2 was quite well received. But then we got a break, we got a breather, we got like a respite. And then we went straight back in. And that kind of made it worse to feel that constriction because of what had happened. So I think you're right there. The next product
So
was
moving on.
Street Fighter, I believe. Yes, Street Fighter 6. Jamie, Chun Li, Ryu, and Luke.
S rank, no notes. I will not be taking questions. Moving on.
I don't know about that.
You don't have to know. You just have to put it in S.
Why? But why S rank?
For one, it is a return to form of fighting games, which is which was the original nature of this game, and a lot of people have been clamoring for less anime IPs, more fighting games. Jamie is an amazing character that I still test with constantly. He's always on my radar of new set comes out. What can I give 4-4 to? It gives us pseudo reversals back, which is what our old head communities really enjoy. As you keep saying, because of your stupid numbers with Ario Kokosho. Uh, yeah, and I think that they were very well designed decks. Like these are Challenger series that you could just, unlike maybe the Star Trek ones, which felt a little underwhelming. These were both perfectly balanced in their strength versus ease of accessibility to newer players, and I think they're just an all around great product.
Personally, I
So
think
yeah,
Star Trek.
S rank, no notes.
I think Star Trek was fine. It was just too big, similar to other sets. Uh, Personally, I would say A. From a design aspect, you're completely correct. This was everything that we were asking for. Design wise, it was a return to form. It was a great love note to fighting games. Especially the fact we got Gentleman back for the art arts. I just didn't see the hype that Critical Role got in S.
Okay,
What?
but this was Barrett Bryant's first attempt at designing, and I think he did amazing. So let's put it in S for Barrett Bryant.
I don't know if I can put it above Soul Leveling. The hype of Soul Leveling was.
I still say okay. If you want to put it in high A, I'll put it in S, and you could put it in the top of A, and we'll split the
I'll
difference.
put it in S, but I think it's gonna be the bottom of S.
That's fine. It can go behind It can go behind what's it called? Critical Role.
If you think these are gonna be the only S's, you gotta wait until I start talking about the other ones. But anyway, let's move on to the number 6 product, which was TMNT. I believe that came out before City of Wolves.
Yes. Maybe?
They were very close together, but I'm pretty sure City of Wolves was September-ish. End of August, September.
Turtles B. It's fine.
I,
It's fine. It's not great. It's fine.
but the hype. You gotta remember they were taking into account the community hype aspect.
Do you want to take into account the community loss of hype when they found out that it was the newer turtles and not the old turtles?
The
Or that all the secrets were
only
backups?
some that a lot of Turtle fans didn't care. For example, Sean. Uh, people talk about playing new regionals. Uh, some people like Sean from Patriot are collecting all the chromes, all the alt arts. They just want turtles. People like Booster Tom on TikTok he didn't care. He collects all turtle stuff. There are some turtle
Yeah,
fans who
I've got a local who has a full complete master set except for the chromes. Uh,
okay. How about the fact
I
that
just-
how about we put it in A because Magic the Gathering had to copy our design in order to make it their product relevant?
All right, I'll give you that. Low A. That's fine. And it was in a hot topic, so maybe that got some eyes on it, but
For
it's
me,
just I don't like the art from that series. It makes a lot of the cards kind of hard to look at. I just emptied a bunch of my turtles bulk onto a store, and I was having to keep like one or two places of everything for my personal stuff. And let me tell you, staring at things that look like the same card over and over and over because it's hard to differentiate between them or see what's going on, I had a headache in under an hour. So I'm not a fan. Uh, it's fine.
I,
I don't think a lot of the cards are even very stand out, except for Massive Mutant Machine and Equipment Heist. But yeah, so it's fine.
I like TMNT. I think it just suffers from the uh, City Rampage. It's the Crimson Rampage problem. I
Yeah, where everything feels underpowered.
I like I like
It's a good new player set. I'll give it
yeah.
that. It is a good new player set.
It's got powerful cards in there. It's got Fillet Fling. It's got Ray Fillet. It's got Equipment Heist. It's got Donatello's Bow Staff. It's got some very cool trick pieces in there that complement it, but the power level of Apocalypse of the cards in
Yeah.
there was disproportionate, similar to MHA1 and Crimson Rampage. But a lot of the cards like Massive Mutant Machine and things like that are in Team and T. There's a lot of very powerful cards. We've seen Raphael top an event. We've seen people now, content creators and other people getting hyped up on Donatello and other characters. The power is there. It's just people are not able to get over the look of the cards because they don't like the way they look. I like the Tales of TMNT look. I prefer it to the Mutant Mayhem look, but that's just me.
I don't know. I haven't watched either of them, but just like I said, a lot of them I was struggling to tell them apart art wise because they
My
looked so similar, and it just as someone who that's kind of how I go through cards, I'll just
yeah,
sort really fast and I'm just looking for certain things. That makes it kind of tricky for me. So I don't care for the set that much. I'm glad we got Turtles. I'm glad it got hype and it got people interested in the game. But it's just not for me.
but no, I'm gonna make sense. My Paramount Plus subscription out, so I've not been able to watch season 2 yet, which makes me sad. But speaking of the art that people wanted in the game, TMNT Starter. This was a nod to the 80s. It gave us some cool alternate arts to what we had for the 80s cards, as well as exclusive cards in Splinter and a few others. This was a great learn to play product. Uh, I think it. I think it was a bit too simple for people who had already played TCGs in the past, but that's kind of how our star decks are doing it.
Yeah. I'd give this an A because I've actually sold a lot of these in stores. And I actually had to buy one just to use with new players or to help teach new players. It's a very good onboarding product. It's very easy. The art is much easier on the eyes. Uh, I think it's because it's simpler art. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles like the set art. It's all dark, but it's also very neon and it's kind of hard on the eyes. The having the crisper like two-dimensional art for the decks is a much easier on the eyes. So I'd say this is an A.
It can,
I'd say
it
this is a
can
good onboarding product.
it can go in A because it also gave one of my theories validity where I said Splinter will be a backup, and then he wasn't a backup in the set, and then they went, "Oh, here's a starter with a Splinter backup." It's like technically correct, the best kind of correct.
The American way.
So then we got the City of Wolves Fatal Fury T-shirts with retro cards.
Did you
Uh,
buy one of these after we found out that the links were still up?
I
Because I
did
haven't
not.
tried that yet.
OBS is freaking out a little bit. I'm trying to change over. There we go.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
glitching a bit.
I did not buy one. I reported it to UVS, who said that shouldn't be the case. I don't know if this is still up, but
I'm
personally,
looking at it right now.
it's like I have no interest in this product. I think if we're going to be anything, we rock Howard because that card just seems very silly. But when it comes to retro, I'm more a fan of taking advantage of my collection rather than trying to like hunt down cards to play with. Does that make sense?
No, you're right. Yeah, it looks like they are not in. Looks like they're not available anymore.
There you go. We made it.
Yeah, should have bought.
We
Should
did
have
our
bought one when we
social
had the
influencing.
chance.
We did our social
Should have.
influencing.
Oh yeah, that was totally us. We're gonna claim that.
But yeah, for me, $40 for a T-shirt that came with a card was not very appealing. But similar to Street Fighter, it was a return to form. People got very hyped. They absolutely loved the idea of it. It was just the fact they weren't standard that kind of put people off.
I'd say this is a C. $40 for one card's a lot.
See, that's fair.
I do like that we got Rock Howard from Legacy into Retro, and I do like Retro Love. But $40 for one card is a lot. So I'd say a C.
Now I put it in a different order, so that's better. Now we have the S Class Hunter bundles. This is the Caleb reskin, the Ryu reskin, and the Levi Battle for Humanity reskin with the Chahayin, Bahayako, and I forget Mage's name. He's not important. Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares about the second strongest hunter. But
Choi Jong-in.
Chai Jong-in, yes. The strongest spellcaster of the S class, which is like saying you're the second fastest runner. Doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Yeah. C. Moving on. I think we both have said our piece about these experience bundles.
Now, if we'd have done this last week, I would agree with you. However, we now have the 3v3 format. And the article has proven me wrong, saying that the S class hunters and stuff are their own characters. Which means in 3v3 you can have Byuk Hon Yun and Ryu in the same list. Meaning you can double up on your character's abilities.
C+, moving on.
I would say low B. It's more so leveling support, which immediately has the hype. But they were a bit overpriced for what they should be.
Overpriced for what they are. I don't think they lived up to said hype, except for the Shadow Monarch bundle, which I believe we're getting to next. But for the S rank hunters, I'd say C.
Fine, let's see. But it's good above Fatal Fury.
That's fine.
Then we have the Shadow Monarch bundle, a $40 bundle that came with 21 cards, all of which were double sided. They didn't spoil the surprise of the alt art Sun Jin Woo foil being in there. They left us for us to find, which was really cool. The art's amazing. The hype behind the product was amazing. The only downside was the distribution of the product because more people wanted it than the stores got, and it took a while to get out internationally.
It's weird because my local store just got one and they didn't even know they were getting them. I was under the impression that you had to get them from a distributor or from UVS Games. I didn't know they were sending them to stores.
Yeah, no,
And my store didn't even know they were getting them. They were just like, yeah, this kind of just showed up. I'm like, oh shit. I would have, had I known, I would have waited and bought one here. Support locals. So my ranking is going to shock you.
The moment that they hit distribution, I was able to find information. I knew these were going to stores. But before we get into that, I just want to quickly go over the fact that this made Sun Jin Woo playable. This made Sun Jin Woo a competitive outlier, and also introduced very powerful cards to meta with Igris, which is an absolute meta threat, and the Shadow Mage / Shadow Sorcery, which has been able to utilize a lot more spells, especially with more spells coming next year, and give Harrison Death a beautiful layup. It's very well designed. It's gives us access to the key backups that the challenger was missing. I know where I'm putting this, but I will
Okay,
let you
well,
say
my
your
my
piece.
ranking my ranking is going to surprise you.
Probably not, but go on.
Yes,
Yeah, that's not a surprise. How is that a surprise?
because I'm very negative on these player experience bundles, but I think this is the example of what a player experience bundle should
Yeah,
be. It's $40, yes, but you're getting not only the character, but support for that character. Yes, it's mechanically unique, but you're getting 4 copies of every card and a mat, which I don't need a mat,
yeah,
but $40 for a playset of what, 5 cards and the character that plays them? I think,
and the new skill
for
tree.
like a DLC type of thing, this is how these experience bundles should be.
Yes,
So I would give it an S because if we're going to be doing these in the future, this is what I want to see more of.
yeah. The fact that we got 21 cards and the playmat. If the playmats are supposed to be at say $30, it means the 20 odd cards were listed at 50 cents a piece when they're all ridiculously playable. Tank, Igris, and the Shadow Sorcery can also play outside of the bundle. Grinding over time has elevated the original Sun Jin Woo deck into the realms of playability because getting to level 6 is a lot easier. I
Yeah.
think,
So I would put this in S.
yeah, 100% S. Speaking of things that go into S, Guilty Gear Strive. The product opening has been amazing. It's a kiss to the origins of the game in fighting games, but the fact that you can buy a case and get a playset of SRs, get a playset of URs, have everything you need for a master collection in a set. Something that the old heads, the people are the quickest to complain about new things, have been the most hyped for because when we got the original Yu Yu Hakusho and all the other sets that were 80 to 90 cards, if you bought a case, you still weren't guaranteed to get all the characters, never mind all the URs. And now Guilty Gear Strive's giving people two alt art characters a box sometimes. People are walking away with 9 to 12 SRs. This is an insane value for money product, which may have impacted the secondary market, but nobody cares about that if they're just looking to play
No, if I could pick
collectors.
up cards cheap, I'm happy.
Yeah, and the cards themselves, this is like we were saying last week. This has been one of the best pre-release sealed experiences we've had in a very long time. The
Says the
cards.
man who didn't face 4 Kai Kisuke's in one weekend. But all right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a locals where I get to play the game. Excuse me,
I I have a locals. I didn't get to play the game. Just saying.
but yeah, I think
Kai Kisuke committing and freezing everything is annoying. But yeah, I will say that this was one of the best releases in recent memory. I like the smaller set size. It makes collecting everything you need a lot more manageable. Um, and yeah, I would be down to see them test the waters with like if they did like the Star Trek lower decks. I think that could have been a blitz
that
box.
could be a very good
So
Blitz
if you
box.
wanted to test IPs and test the water, I think a blitz box is a really good way to do it.
Yeah. This is an easy S from
Absolutely.
the way the product was handled, from the way that the company has dealt with it, from everyone. The only thing I'm really shocked by is we didn't get a Redemption Star promo for Guilty Gear.
Not yet. Who knows? Maybe that's coming up next year at the first of the year.
But it
Who
usually
knows? I
it,
don't know.
it usually happens on set release. Like we got the TMNT one, we got the Street Fighter one. It usually happens when we get a new product. We
Yeah,
get.
I don't know. They've
I
been
mean,
busy with the end of the year stuff. And then
no,
with the distribution issues with Guilty Gear, we did have some distribution issues. So maybe they're just waiting until everyone has Guilty Gear stuff available. I don't know.
but yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, I'm kind of happy because points are so restricted at the minute with everything that's going on. So
Yeah,
it's only
I'm saving my points for challenger cards.
that's
I
fair.
need a full playset of Vetus Deletus.
Now, the last product of the year.
What's the lowest tier? Put it in that and let's move on.
No, I can't. I can't because Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 with the Walk the Dog, and the first question everybody had was, is it singular or is there a playset? And that thing haunted UVS. That one question followed around for weeks. It temporarily replaced the international players asking about where their events are, but then we got the article that said you get a playset of all the support cards, and I was like, "Oh my god, this product is amazing! I can get these hard to get hold of cards that because Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament is out of print. I have a box behind me because I'm an asshole and I'm holding it. But even in a case of Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament, you weren't guaranteed to get a playset of Water Dogs. And Water Dog has 1 year left. It's a very playable card. And characters like Kai Kisuke absolutely love it. And then we were told you get a playset. And Yu Hakusho's out of print. Unless your store has it, unless you find it on the secondary market where they're $30 to $40 each. You weren't able to get hold of these very powerful cards. And when we did our talk about the experience bundles, we said if this is a way to get cards into people's hands that are hard to come by, and a way to even out the secondary market, that's absolutely great. And then it drops on the Friday. Fair play to UVS, they arrived Saturday, and everyone's like, "There's only one." We're like, "What? What do you mean there's only one?" It's like there's only one, and then the article got changed, which was a very
Scandal ensued.
yes, a very poor move on UVS's part. But then the article, then we got more confirmation. We were told they're aware of the problem. They're working on it. Cool. We finally got communication. Then we got told we get a 75% refund. Now I get where people like Rochester and other people are coming from. That's a great deal for the people that purchased it. You're getting a $40 product for $10, and there was an issue with the refunds, but again, UVS were above and beyond there. They immediately identified the problem, and they were quick and clear with their communication from it. They let us know the refund's supposed to include postage. They were going to get on it. It was going to be sorted, and they did. It was done very quickly. It was done very efficiently, and it was a great kind of wrap up to it. But my issue has always been this was a solution for collectors. It wasn't a solution for players. And it's all well and good for Rochester CCG to rock up to my channel when I'm talking about it and go, "Oh, if you're not happy, I'll buy you a bundle for $10." Like, you're not getting my point. My point is that players wanted this playset to play. And if you give them a partial refund, they don't care because they're only getting 1/4 of the cards they wanted, and if they want to get the rest, it's going to cost them $120 at this point. That's not a amicable solution for them. It's the best solution UVS can give us, but it sucks for the players that wanted it. It only benefits the people who wanted the multiple sets for the sake of collecting.
So I believe 2 points,
Okay.
maybe three if I've numbered these wrong. They don't extend the life of the card. So why am I going to buy this just to be able to play the card for one more year? Because I was going to buy them when they were at 4 Walk the Dogs because I was like, oh, if this extends the life of the product, this is a great way for me to get extras if my players need them, you know, for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, and then I do think that if they were play sets, this was a very good price. I like that price point. I think that was really fair, which should have been the first red flag. Um, and then even scandal notwithstanding, even if they were very upfront and said you only get one of each, we just had the solo leveling Shadow Monarch bundle where it showed you what your experience bundle should look like. where you get the play sets, where you get to where these characters can be very usable, and it feels like a step back. So even Scandal notwithstanding, I still give this whatever our lowest tier is
The shadow
because you took a step back.
the Shadow Runner bundle was designed for the players. Yes, it put some cards behind a paywall, but like I said, it was designed for players. But
But it
the
was a one-time payment,
yes,
and instead of just like a,
but it
"Oh,
was
I need to buy this card here, this card here." It's like, nope, you just make this one payment, and it's a relatively cheap payment, and you move on.
but it was also a bundle of cards wrapped up inside a playmat tube. The Borderlands Experience bundle was a display piece. It was something you meant to have open, like the Riftbound arcade bundles, like the One Piece live action cards. They're not meant to be played; they're meant to be displayed. They were for collectors, and that was fine. And the bundle itself, for the price point it's at, if you take into account the secondary market, which UVS should not be doing, in my opinion, they should not be going, oh yes, what are the dogs are $40 cards, so people will buy a bundle for $40 because they can. That's how much they can buy a World of them, so they're going to get additional cards. It's great value. That is not what should be going for UVS's head, in my personal opinion, and I don't know if that is what is going through UVS's head. I'm not going to speculate on that, but what I'm going to say is this was a collector's product. And if they'd have been upfront with that, if the information had been correct, that we were going to get 800 of these that were going to be limited, and they came with one of each, I would have still bought two. One for me to put up on my lovely wall of stuff that I need to organize better now because I've got Riftbound and Star Trek mixing. But and then one for my friend who's a big fan of Borderlands. But I want to bought three. I bought a third one to play it, to crack it, and have the beautiful art and the ironic walk the dog that's got a cat on it. So I can't, in good conscience, put it in the lowest tier because it's a good product for what it was meant to be. It's a display piece for collectors because that's where UVS is going with this stuff. They're appealing some of their products to collectors, like the PSA promos, like the chromes and these exclusive art cards. They're trying to get collectors interested in the game and convert the ones that they can into players. And the Shadow Runner bundle was the opposite. This was for the players. This was for the people that came in with soul leveling early in the year, and this was a great way to round out their decks and make their character more playable. It wasn't meant to be displayed. Those cards were meant to be cracked and played. The Borderlands bundle is a folder with screen with like plastic over the cards, which is designed for you to display the cards. It did its job. Just the information we had was bad, and the way that the information was distributed and changed over the issues was bad. UVS got better at it very quickly, but the damage.
I will give them their props on that. They did handle the blowback quickly and efficiently.
But to me, I can't put it in D and I can't put it in C because even with all the controversy, even with all the issues, even with everything that went on, it is still better value for money than the S Class Hunter promos. Can you argue that?
Then let's put the S class hunter promos in D and then put the Borderlands in C.
But then we also have to put the Fatal Fury stuff down because you get a T-shirt and a card for $40, whereas Borderlands does give you beautiful collector piece cards you could play if you want, but
Then we can keep that in C, but put the Borderlands ahead of it
so why not just keep the S Class Hunter in C as well then?
because $30 for one card.
But that's what the City of Wolves Fatal Fury was. You just got a T-shirt.
But that was fancy retro cards, and one of them was Legacy, which never was playable in retro. So it elevated a card that
Okay,
we
yeah,
were otherwise never able to
that's
play.
fair. Rock Howard being promoted into retro, it was a huge thing. So
Yeah.
you want to put Mama Chahayan, who suffered so much in season 2, down into D.
One, she's not my mama, and two, I've never seen the show. So
Chahayan is everyone's mother, and you will respect your mother. Mother is mothering.
If you knew the way I talk to my mother.
And
I work with my mother and we snap at each other all the time. It's hilarious.
you will respect
People who don't know
Chahayin,
where we're
and you will respect you will respect Furry Ryu.
I mean, given the later games, isn't that just Ryu?
But I don't know.
I've seen that man's beard.
I mean, if Sonic can turn into a werewolf, then anyone can turn into a wolf.
True.
So, despite your protest that it goes in D tier, we put the Borderlands in C tier because it's still good value for money, even at its price point. The cards that we got in there, if it extended the life of the cards, even where it would go to B. If you got a playset
Yeah.
of all those cards, it jumps straight to S.
Yeah.
But
But like I said, we just had what the Shadow Monarch bundle gave us for player experience bundles,
it,
and that feels like the gold standard to me. Yes, the packaging could have been different, but I do think that that's where these experience bundles
but,
should be, and I'd be
yeah,
okay with them just reskinning, like if the S class hunter bundles reskinned some other cards that could be used in those characters with the new characters like anime uh scenes on them, I'd be okay with that. I'd be absolutely down with that. Make it an experience.
yeah. The thing for me is experience bundles come under two different branches. One's designed for the players and one designed for the collectors. Anya Forger, FCG, the S Class Hunters, Borderlands, the City Wolves were all designed for collectors. Even
And as a player, I'm always going to judge that.
yes, and Anya Forge is a great example. The artwork was amazing. The playment was amazing, and what we've seen
Character
here,
was dog water.
and the characters were done well. What we see here is the evolution of the collector's experience bundle as it goes from a playmat and a card, or a playmat and a T-shirt, into these folders that can be opened up and displayed. And when you have like, I my first world promos are framed in my hallway. My alt art uh, vestiges of divergence are framed up in my hallway. My silk paper Ghidorah is hanging up in my living room. So when we have people come over, they can see my cards, they can see my Universus artwork. They're display pieces. That's what Borderlands is. That's what the collector's experience bundle is. And that's what we've seen the evolution of, from FCG to Anya Forger to the City of Wolves, and then into the Borderlands, which is going to be semi final form. Shadow Monarch bundle goes straight to S. It's a top tier product, and we feel that way because this is a player experience bundle. It revolutionized the way a character could be played. It introduced brand new aspects of the IP that so many people joined this game for at the beginning of the year, that so many people were hyped for, that we missed out on. And people could look past the mechanically unique paywall for what we were getting. It was, like you said, the gold standard of the player experience bundle. And that's the evolution of the player experience bundle. My only issue is the fact that we lump those two products under the same title of a player experience bundle. If you just called it a collector's experience bundle and a player experience bundle, you could have the playsets and stuff like that. People know what they were getting directly from the name.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea to go moving forward if anyone from UVS Games is listening on 1.5 speed.
It's probably 2.2 speed at this point, but that is our product tier list. This is a new thing that we've kind of done. If it does well, we'll definitely crack on and do these more often. Uh, I think end of year, this is something we'll probably do at this point. Not quite sure about champ cards because we're only going to be seeing one of them at this point, but definitely products. We have been
Yeah,
going well over 2 hours. I need to go to bed.
that's because you kept talking after I kept saying no notes, move on.
Yeah,
If you
you
just listened to me, you could go to bed on time.
you don't have notes. I have many feelings about solo leveling and critical role. I need to get out there. I need people
And a
to know.
platform upon which you can put those
Yes.
after you've had a good night's sleep.
No. If I have an opportunity to say we need more of this IP in the game, I'm gonna take my opportunity. More solo leveling, please. More critical role.
I do
Maybe
want a Villains of Exandria set.
maybe more turtles and a push. Uh, I,
Eh,
I
I'm
want.
neither here nor there.
I'm in it for the big like season one of the Tales of Timothy ends with them replacing a giant pearl with a ball of poop. So I'm in for an asset that's just a giant pile of bird shit.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. But in fact, big shout out to Veneta and Blanche for being here. Big shout out to Stephen, aka Claxo, who was here at the start, telling everyone about my deal, and for being a high tier member of the YouTube members. I keep forgetting to call him out, so I shout him out here. If you are interested in some of my members only videos, I've got a bird's eye view of the Glasgow finals as well as some exclusive summit videos up for members only, and you get access to all my videos early if you're a member, which I'm currently almost into January in at this point because I'm trying to get ahead while Flynn's off school. If you want to get some of the best new player advice as well as retro deck lists, standard deck lists, and day zero builds for characters as and when they release, go check out UVS Hermit. It's your one-stop shop to get your new player info. And if you want the crazy conspiracy theories, check me out on Universus. Cam will not be here next week, so you'll see him in the new year. But I'll be back next week with a massive quiz about everything Universes. Feel free to join in and see if you can beat the teams. For theories, news, or more, win, lose, or draw, we are UK Versus, and we'll see you at game night. Bye.
Au revoir.